The book of Isaiah, chapters 5 through 8 today. Let's make sure that's right. Yep, 5 through 8. Chapter 5, verse 1. Now I will sing for the one I love, a song about his vineyard. My beloved had a vineyard on a rich and fertile hill. He plowed the land, cleared its stones, and planted it with the best vines. In the middle he built a watchtower and carved a winepress in the nearby rocks. Then he waited for a harvest of sweet grapes, but the grapes that grew were bitter. Whoa, pause right off the bat. The first 4 chapters of this of Isaiah have been wild. Now what's going on? Chapter 5, I will sing for the one I love, a song about his vineyard. My beloved had a vineyard on a rich and fertile hill. He plowed the land, cleared its stones, and planted it with the best vines. But in the middle he built a watchtower and carved a winepress in the nearby rocks. Then he waited for a harvest of sweet grapes, but the grapes that grew were bitter. This is interesting. The one I love, a song about his vineyard. Okay, pick back up on verse 3. Now you people of Jerusalem and Judah, you judge between me and my vineyard. What more could I have done for my vineyard that I have not already done? When I expected sweet grapes, why did my vineyard give me bitter grapes? Now let me tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will tear down its hedges, and let it be destroyed. I will break down its walls and let the animals trample it. I will make it a wild place where the vines are not pruned and the ground is not hoed, a place overgrown with briars and thorns. I will command the clouds to drop no rain on it. The nation of Israel is the vineyard of the Lord of heaven's armies. The people of Judah are his pleasant garden. He expected a crop of justice, but instead he found oppression. He expected to find righteousness, but instead he heard cries of violence. I want to recap. Verse 7 says, the nation of Israel is the vineyard of the Lord of heaven's armies. Okay. Verse 8. What sorrow for you who buy up house after house and field after field until everyone is evicted and you live alone in the land. But I have heard the Lord of heaven's armies swear a solemn oath. Many houses will stand deserted. Even beautiful mansions will be emptied. 10 acres of vineyard will not produce even 6 gallons of wine. 10 baskets of seed will yield only 1 basket of grain. What sorrow for those who get up early in the morning looking for a drink of alcohol and spend long evenings drinking wine to make themselves flaming drunk. They furnish wine and lovely music at their grand parties, lyre and harp, tambourine and flute, but they never think about the Lord or notice what he is doing. So my people will go into exile far away because they do not know me. Those who are great and honored will starve. And the common people will die of thirst. The grave is licking its lips in anticipation, opening its wide mouth. The great and the lowly, and all the drunken mob will be swallowed up. Humanity will be destroyed and people brought down. Even the arrogant will lower their eyes in humiliation. But the Lord of heaven's armies will be exalted by justice. The holiness of God will be displayed by his righteousness. I'd like to take a moment and make sure that I'm grasping and you're grasping. The Lord of heaven's armies. So, There's the heavens armies. What is the heavens armies? I don't know. I guess we envision heaven and soldiers. That would be the heavens armies. I guess that's what I would envision. And this is the commander, the Lord of all of heaven's army and his soldiers. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that that was sitting in my head the way it's maybe sitting in your head. Maybe I'm wrong. So feel free to comment. Say something. We can research it together. Let's pick back up, redo verse 16, chapter 5. But the Lord of heaven's armies will be exalted by his justice. The holiness of God will be displayed by his righteousness. In that day, lambs will find good pastures, and fattened sheep and young goats will be fed among the ruins. What sorrows for those who drag their sins behind them with ropes made of lies, who drag wickedness behind them like a cart. Ooh, that's a good verse. Verse 18. They even mock God and say, hurry up and do something. We want to see what you can do. Let the Holy One of Israel carry out his plan, for we want to know what it is. I'm guilty of mocking God right there in that verse. Verse 20. What sorrow for those who say that evil is good and good is evil, that dark is light and light is dark, that bitter is sweet and sweet is bitter. What sorrow for those who are wise in their own eyes and think themselves so clever. What sorrow for those who are heroes at drinking wine and boast about all the alcohol they can hold. They take bribes and let the wicked go free, and they punish the innocent. Therefore, just as fire licks up stubble and dry grass shrivels in the flame, so their roots will rot and their flowers wither. For they have rejected the law of the Lord of heaven's armies. They have despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. That is why the Lord's anger burns against his people and why he has raised his fist to crush them. Whew. Man. The mountains tremble and the corpse of his people litter the streets like garbage. But even then the Lord's anger is not satisfied. His fist is still posed to strike. He will send a signal to distant nations far away and whistle to those at the ends of the earth. They will come racing towards Jerusalem. They will not get tired or stumble. They will not stop for rest or sleep. Not a belt will be loose, not a sandal strap broken. Their arrows will be sharp and their bows ready for battle. Sparks will fly from the horses' hooves, and the wheels of the chariots will spin like a whirlwind. They will roar like lions, like the strongest of lions. Growling, they will pounce on their victims and carry them off, and no one will be there to rescue them. They will roar over their victims on that day of destruction, like the roaring of the sea. If someone looks across the land, only darkness and distress will be seen. Even the light will be darkened by clouds. You guys feeling that? It's terrifying. God will destroy the people that have rejected the law of the Lord of the heavens armies. He will swiftly eliminate all of us for rejecting his law. Like it's ugly. All right, well, let's pick back up. Chapter 6. It was in the year King Uzziah died that I saw the Lord. So this must be Isaiah making a prophecy here. He was sitting on a lofty throne, and the train of his robe filled the temple. He was sitting on a lofty throne. Oh, this is the Lord. He saw the Lord. The Lord was sitting on a lofty throne, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Attending him were mighty seraphim, each having 6 wings. Seraphim, I believe, are angels. With 2 wings, they covered their faces. With 2, They covered their feet, and with two they flew. They were calling out to each other, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of heaven's armies. The whole earth is filled with his glory." Their voices shook the temple to its foundations, and the entire building was filled with smoke. Then I said, "It's all over. I am doomed, for I am a sinful man. I have filthy lips, and I live among a people with filthy lips. Yet I have seen the King of the Lord of heaven's armies." Then one of the seraphim flew to me with a burning coal he had taken from the altar with a pair of tongs. He touched my lips with it and said, "See, this coal has touched your lips. Now your guilt is removed and your sins are forgiven." And then I heard the Lord asking, "Whom should I send as a messenger to his people? Who will go for us?" I said, "I am here. Send me." And he said, "Yes, go and say this to the people. Listen carefully, but do not understand. Watch closely, but learn nothing. Harden your hearts of these people. Plug their ears and shut their eyes. That way they will not see with their eyes, nor hear with their ears, nor understand with their hearts, and turn to me for healing." Then I said, "Lord, how long will this go on?" And he replied, "Until the towns are empty, their houses are deserted, the whole country is a wasteland. Until the Lord has sent everyone away, and the entire land of Israel lies deserted. If even a tenth, a remnant, survive, it will be invaded again and burned. But as a terebinth or an oak tree leaves a stump when it is cut down, so Israel's stump will be a holy seed." If you sometimes hear people say, or you yourself think, "Who knows the mind of God? Who are we?" We're just humans. He's in control. I mean, I feel like the chapter enough is like, listen, we don't understand the decisions God makes, and I will refer back to Ecclesiastes chapter 9. I'm sorry, Ecclesiastes. Man, I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to say it. Ecclesiastes chapter 2, I believe. 22. Gosh, I don't want to keep telling you guys wrong because it's one that I've been referring to. I referred to it in the last video. It's not 2:20. It's got to be Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verses 1 through 2. The same destiny awaits everyone, whether righteous or wicked, good or bad. I'm just sometimes confused, guys. Let's get back to chapter 7. When Ahaz, son of Jotham, and grandson of Uzziah, was king of Judah, King Rezin of Syria, and Pekah, son of Ramaliah, the king of Israel, set out to attack Jerusalem. However, they were unable to carry out their plan. The news had come to the royal court of Judah. Syria is allied with Israel against us. I have no idea what's taking place right now in this chapter. So the hearts of the king and his people trembled with fear, like trees shaking in a storm. Then the Lord said to Isaiah, "Take your son, Shear-Jashub, and go out to meet King Ahaz. You will find him at the end of the aqueduct and feeds the water into the upper pool, near the road leading to the field where cloth is washed. Tell him to stop worrying. Tell him he doesn't need to fear the fierce anger of those two burned out embers, King Rezin of Syria and Pekah, son of Ramaliah. Yes, the kings of Syria and Israel are plotted against him, saying, 'We will attack Judah and capture it for ourselves. Then we will install the son of Tabal as Judah's king. But this is what the sovereign Lord says. This invasion will never happen. It will never take place, for Syria is no stronger than its capital, Damascus, and Damascus is no stronger than its king, Rezin. As for Israel, within 65 years it will be crushed and completely destroyed. Israel is no stronger than its capital, Samaria, and Samaria is no stronger than its king, Pekah, son of Remaliah. Unless your faith is firm, I cannot make you stand firm. Later the Lord sent this message to King Ahaz. Ask the Lord your God for a sign of confirmation. Ahaz, make it as difficult as you want, as high as the heavens or as deep as the place of the dead. But the king refused. No, he said, I will not test the Lord like that. Then Isaiah said, listen well, you royal family of David. Isn't it enough to exhaust human patience? Must you exhaust the patience of my God as well? All right then, the Lord himself will give you a sign. Look, the virgin will conceive a child. She will give birth to a son, and will call him Emmanuel, which means God is with us. By the time the child is old enough to choose what is right and reject what is wrong, he will be eating yogurt and honey. But before the child is that old, the lands of the two kings you fear so much will both be deserted. Then the Lord will bring things on you, your nation and your family, unlike anything since Israel broke away from Judah. He will bring the king of Assyria upon you. In that day the Lord will whistle for the army of the southern Egypt and for the army of Assyria. They will swarm around you like flies and bees. They will come in vast hordes and settle in the fertile areas and also in the desolate valleys, caves, and thorny places. In that day the Lord will hire a razor from beyond the Euphrates River, the king of Assyria, and use it to shave off everything, your land, your crop, and your people. In that day a farmer will be fortunate to have a cow and 2 sheep or goats left. Nevertheless, there will be enough milk for everyone, because so few people will be left in the land. They will eat their fill of yogurt and honey. In that day, the lush vineyards, now worth 1,000 pieces of silver, will become patches of briars and thorns. The entire land will become a vast expanse of briars and thorns, a hunting ground overrun by wildlife. No one will go to the fertile hillsides where the gardens once grew, for briars and thorns will cover them. Cattle, sheep, and goats will graze there. Chapter 8. Then the Lord said to me, make a large signboard and clearly write this name on it: Meher Shalal Hashbaz. I asked Uriah the priest and Zechariah son of Jerechiah, both known as honest men, to witness my doing this. Then I slept with my wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son, and the Lord said, call him Meher Shalal Hashbaz. For before this child is old enough to say Papa or Mama, the king of Assyria will carry away both the abundance of Damascus and the riches of Samaria. Then the Lord spoke to me again and said, my care for the people of Judah is like a gently flowing water of Shiloah, but they have rejected it. They are rejoicing over what will happen to King Rezin and King Pekah. Therefore the Lord will overwhelm them with a mighty flood from the Euphrates River, the king of Assyria and all his glory. The flood will overflow all its channels and sweep into Judah until it's chin deep. It will spread its wings, submerging your land from one end to the other. O Emmanuel, huddle together, you nations, and be terrified. Listen, all you distant lands. Prepare for battle, for you will be crushed. Yes, prepare for battle, but you will be crushed. Call your councils of war, but they will be worthless. Develop your strategies, but they will not succeed, for God is with us. The Lord has given me a strong warning not to think like everyone else does. He said, don't call everything a conspiracy like they do, and don't live in dread of what frightens them. Make the Lord of heaven's armies holy in your life. He is the one you should fear. He is the one who should make you tremble. He will keep you safe, but to Israel and Judah, he will be a stone that makes people stumble. a rock that makes them fall. And for the people of Jerusalem, he will be a trap and a snare. Many will stumble and fall, never to rise again. They will be snared and captured. Preserve the teaching of God, and trust his instructions to those who follow me. I will wait for the Lord, who has turned away from the descendants of Jacob. I will put my hope in him. I and the children of the Lord have given me serve as a sign and warning to Israel from the Lord of heaven's armies, who dwell in his temple on Mount Zion. Someone may say to you, let's ask the mediums and those who consult the spirits of the dead. With their whisperings and their mutterings, they will tell us what to do. But shouldn't people ask God for guidance? Shouldn't the living seek guidance from the dead? Should the living seek guidance from the dead? Look to God's instruction and teachings. People who contradict his word are completely in the dark. They will go from one place to another, weary and hungry. And because they are hungry, they will rage and curse the king, their king and their God. They will look up to heaven and down at earth. But wherever they look, there will be trouble and anguish and dark despair. They will be thrown out into the darkness. Keep reading through, keep following me through. Take a moment and review some of these chapters. Take notes. It's not easy. See you guys next video.